the Hawk pregame show. I'm Bray Tate, and I'm joined by Matt Kaufman and Adam Rothschild. The men's basketball team hosts the Moravian Greyhounds this Saturday. Matt, can you give us a little breakdown of the Riverhawks?
Yeah, when you look back into these last few games, and you're coming down to the final 9 games of the season, right? These games against Landmark Conference teams are going to be big, right? No matter what sport it is, basketball, baseball, softball, even, field hockey, swimming, track, whatever it is. Every game against a Landmark team, any team in your conference is going to be big. Now, when you look at the Riverhawks this year, 8-7 coming into Wednesday's game, now they got a big game here Saturday, right? Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen with that Wednesday game yet, but when you look at this team overall, they're coached very well. They play with a lot of grit on the court every single game. They're hustling up and down the court, and one of the big things too is there's a lot of leadership on this team, and especially as a coach that's been doing it for so long, Coach Marcinek, he knows that leadership is one of the most important things on the court, and that's what really, when you look at this Riverhawk team, you have a lot of leadership, and that's what's been kind of their stepping stone to their success. Now, they might not have the best record in the conference. They might not be the best team offensively, defensively, whatever, but they are a game above 500 for now. They keep playing with grit. They keep playing with leadership. They keep that no I in team kind of mentality. This team's going to go a long way. You got a tough opponent against Moravian on Saturday, and we're going to see really how much this team is willing to put into the fight because, again, Moravian's a really good basketball team. And for Susquehanna, you're going to need rebounds. You're going to need offense. You're going to need defense, and you got to stay away from the fouls. There's been a lot of games where you shouldn't be coming down to the end having to foul 5-6 times in a row. Those are the games that you're going to most likely lose. And for Susquehanna, this team has been very good this year at not getting blown out early in the game, right? Sometimes it'll get away from them a little bit near the end, but that fast start is really what you got to look at for Susquehanna this year, and it's been very good.
Lots of close games for the Riverhawks. Adam, will you tell us a little bit about the Greyhounds?
Yeah, the Moravian Greyhounds coming into OW House Gymnasium. It's going to be a tall task. This team is 11-4 overall and currently holds a 7-game winning streak as of today. They're 6-2 overall in Landmark Conference play and one of the top 3 teams in the Landmark. And as a team, shooting 44% from field goal range, that is where you want it to be. Compared to what we talked about with Juniata at our previous pregame show, it's much higher up in what I've noticed, and it's a huge improvement, of course. And shooting 36% from 3, showing that they have the range of the outside and they're able to shoot from the three-point territory and be able to put up a bunch of numbers from there is awesome to have that as well. And their free throw percentage is also around the same percentage around. That's a good place you want it to be at, but their rebounding is really stellar as well. So that's another thing, too, with the guys that we always talk about with the Riverhawks and what Moravian has to offer. It's going to be a battle of the boards.
Okay. Matt, what are the key to the games for Susquehanna?
Well, kind of like going off what Adam just said, the keys to the boards, right? Offensively and defensively, you're going to need to rebound, and that comes with Billy Anderson, Audric Washington, and really just anybody who could get into the paint, right? And one of the big things that a lot of coaches are really been focusing on have been the rebound games. You see the numbers go down a little bit, really anywhere you watch, high school, college, NBA, WNBA, whatever it is. Rebounds are always a big factor in the game. If your offense puts up, say you're down 3-4, right, and you need the ball back, you got 10 seconds left, they're going to put a shot up. You got to get those defensive rebounds, especially to get back in the games. The other one, don't turn the ball over. Keep time of possession in your favor. If you have the basketball, you have a chance to score, right? Obviously, the opposing team, especially when this Riverhawk team against Moravian, who has played as well as they have, you have to control the basketball, and that stays away from turnovers, stupid fouls, and just mistakes on the plays, whether it's not paying attention to where you're passing, a double dribble, back, whatever the little mentality fundamental plays are, you have to stay away from those.
Adam?
That's the one thing we always talk about, like we said, with trying to find ways to weaken this Riverhawk offense. And just no matter what the case is, wherever this team has the ball, like I said before, they're able to move the ball around and find the open shot. No matter where on their side of the court they're able to do it, they can find a way to do that. And it's going to be also about protecting the three-point line. Moravian's also a very good three-point shooting team, but on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to have to protect the three-point line for themselves as well against the Riverhawks offense. And attacking the basket in transition, the Riverhawks on defense are able to get back quick. That's the one thing. You want to be able to get ahead of their defense, set your offense up before. If you can get a lot of those points in transition on a 2-on-1 situation, that's going to help you out in the long run. And I think for the Greyhounds, that's something they should look forward to in this game, especially trying to find a way to get ahead of this Riverhawk defense and try to find a way to score in transition in those 2-on-1s.
Who is Susquehanna's key player for this game?
I want to say Cooper Haber. I think he's starting to pick it up a little bit and starting to get hot. I think a team like Moravian is going to try to really focus inside on the paint. I think Cooper Haber is going to have a big day from beyond the arc.
And who's Moravian's key player?
It's going to be Marquise Radcliffe. He's going to be a guy you're going to see a lot down low, averaging 18 points per game. And he's a guy you're going to see a lot against Billy Anderson and Audric Washington. So he's going to be a key guy to watch. So seeing the centers go at it is going to be a battle to watch, and that's going to be the key factor for the Greyhounds. Can they rebound the ball? Can Radcliffe help this team get a win on the road, which would be a huge win for them? But for the Riverhawks, it's been important for them as well with where they're standing at the 4 seed.
What do you predict for this game?
I think it's going to be a closer game than the Juniata game. I think Susquehanna pulls away. I think it's going to be close. Moravian's going to put up a good fight. So we'll see how it goes.
Matt?
I think Moravian's just been too hot this year, especially down the stretch here. 7 straight wins, great record. Everything's working for them totally offensively, defensively, rebound game. Everything clicks. I think this is going to, like Adam said, it's going to be tight. But I think the Moravian Greyhounds are going to pull away 68-63.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for watching another episode of the Hawk Pregame Show. I'm Bray Tate, and joining me was Matt Kaufman and Adam Rothschild. The men's basketball team hosts Moravian on Saturday.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside O.W. Hout's Gymnasium on the campus of Susquehanna University. And this is the second game of our doubleheader this afternoon, as we first saw the women's teams of Susquehanna and Moravian taking center stage, and now the men's teams of Susquehanna and Moravian will take center stage. Once again, from here in the broadcast booth, I'm Adam Rothschild. Alongside me, that's Alex Weldy. And Alex, for this game, for both of these teams being very competitive in the Landmark Conference and where we're at currently in the season, with every single game crucial down the stretch, just like our first game we just did before. That was a crucial game. And now for this game, for the Riverhawks, what do they have to do to knock off, to win here against Moravian, who's one of the top 5 teams currently in the Landmark?
Well, there's certainly a lot at stake here, and we will be getting a treat if this game is half as good as the women's game that we just saw earlier. Both teams are currently 6-3 in Landmark play, and if the season ended right now, these two teams would play against each other in the first round of the Landmark tournament at Moravian. So this game is going to have a big potential impact in terms of seeding for the conference tournament and could very well decide a potential home game for whoever ends up at the number 4 spot. Right now, Moravian would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. They beat Susquehanna earlier in the season and what ended up being a really good game, 89-84. A lot of offense in that one. And that's been the key here for Moravian. The number 2 scoring offense in the Landmark. They've got 2 outstanding players with Marquise Ratcliffe and Chad Kreitzer. The 2 of them have been amongst the best scorers in the Landmark this year. Ratcliffe averages 18 a game. Kreitzer just shy of 17. Moravian relies on their star power, and that's gotten them to where they are right now. The Riverhawks, of course, on the opposite end of that, a team who doesn't have that go-to scorer, but a lot of really good players who play their roles really well.
Absolutely, and that's the one thing Susquehanna is able to show against their opponents. Instead of just focusing on one star player, they have a bunch of guys playing in all different roles, and that's the one thing that is amazing about this team. Meanwhile, the Riverhawks currently holding a 4-game winning streak. Those wins coming against Scranton, Lycoming, Wilkes, and Juniata, leading into today's matchup against Moravian, with 2 top opponents coming up on the schedule after that, which will be home against Catholic on Wednesday, followed by next Saturday for the trip down to Elizabethtown to take on another top opponent in the Landmark. Meanwhile, we do have starting lineups for you. We will start with the visiting Moravian Greyhounds, who are 11-5 overall, 6-3 in the Landmark, and they are 5-3 on the road. Starting off will be the senior guard, Michael Leonardo, followed by the junior guard, Porter Kelly, number 11, Chad Kretzer, number 12, the junior guard from Allentown, Pennsylvania, Demetric Harris, the forward freshman from McCungie, Pennsylvania, number 20, and Marquise Ratcliffe, who we mentioned earlier, the junior forward out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And meanwhile, for the home Riverhawks, who are 9-7 overall, 6-3 in the Landmark, 5-3 here at O.W. Hout's Gymnasium, and they will have their starters with their junior guard, Jackson Van Wagner, number 2 at the top, with their sophomore guard, Michael Perot, number 13, with their junior guard, number 22, Cooper Hayburn, and Brandon Lavitt, number 23, the junior forward at the forward position, and the man in the middle will be Billy Anderson, the junior center from Colonia, New Jersey, as he'll start out at the center position to start tonight. So we got a fun one on our hands here, of course. Both teams fighting for playoff positioning. Currently, Susquehanna is sat at the 5 seed in the Landmark. So like you said, Alex, right before, right now, if the playoffs were to start today, if they ever did, if we imagine that, they would be going against each other, and Moravian would have that on their home floor. But now, we start things off. Second game of our doubleheader, Brandon Lavitt and Ratcliffe to go with it, and the Greyhounds will win the tip. And off we go here in Selinsgrove for game number 2 of the day. And off we go. The Greyhounds start off with the ball, and they'll get it here at the top of the circle. That's Porter Kelly, guarded by Cooper Hayburn. He's driving in, decides to go back out with it. He gets the screen. He drives in against Jackson Van Wagner. No foul is called. Porter Kelly gets the first points on the board for the Greyhounds.
And I like the no call there. There was certainly some contact there, but I don't think that should have been an offensive foul. I think the officials made the right decision to let them play.
And they let the whistle go through, and that was the result as the case there. And now the Riverhawks are back the other way. And once again, this starting lineup has been very consistent for Susquehanna, especially last game was a lot about the shooting in that result. And there's a turnover. Anderson lost the ball. Here come the Greyhounds the other way, and running their offense right now, that's Chad Kretzer. Kretzer backing in. It goes outside. That was Leonardo. There's the jump shot on the side. That one is good for Marquise Ratcliffe, who has been one of the top scorers for the Greyhounds at that center position.
Yeah, Ratcliffe is a 3-level scorer. He can put the ball anywhere on the half court. A dynamic player who leads this team in points, again, 18 a night.
Spectacular, of course, has been Ratcliffe, and meanwhile, in the inside, the other center, Billy Anderson, goes right back at him and gets the Riverhawks on the board. And that time, the Greyhounds moving a little bit too quick. That one bounces out of the hands of Porter Kelly, and it goes back to the Riverhawks.
Yeah, looking at the season that Billy Anderson has had, we've talked about it throughout the year, but the advancements that he's made offensively have been really fun to watch. He's improved as a passer, he's improved his touch around the rim, and certainly the outside shot has become a factor of his game.
Absolutely, and that's what's led to a lot of success. There's that beautiful block inside. Leonardo rejecting Brandon Lavitt. Michael Perone on the steal. Lavitt ahead of the field. Lays it no good. And Leonardo gets it back for the Greyhounds. Big turnaround right there, here to start. Greyhounds pushing it back the other way, now looking to set up their offense again. Kratzer over to the side. Jametric Harris guarded by Billy Anderson in the corner. Top it goes to Ratcliffe. Nice pass inside the layup. Rejected by Michael Perone. But it's going to stay with the Greyhounds, but still, what a big-time play by Michael Perone.
First of all, we got to highlight Ratcliffe there for an awesome pass inside, but an even better defensive play. Perone with the snuff, a career high in steals in the win Wednesday, making his presence felt defensively in this one.
Porter Kelly goes inside very quickly against Cooper Haber. No good. Rebound goes to Billy Anderson. Jackson Van Wagner setting up the offense again. Perone wide open in the corner for three. No good. Ratcliffe with the board. Here come the Greyhounds the other way. There's Leonardo to Kelly on the left side. Haber defending. Up top it goes. Ratcliffe fakes the three against Anderson. Back to Porter Kelly. Ratcliffe sets the screen. Kelly's going to take the three ball. That one is no good. Off the side. Back to the Riverhawks it goes.
I think Moravian has a lot to play for today. They were on a 7-game win streak prior to Wednesday where they got blown out by Wilkes, who's currently third in the conference, losing 91-66. So the Greyhounds are looking to rebound after a bad loss. And I think Susquehanna is going to get Moravian's best.
And those teams both, and Wilkes, of course, like you mentioned, they have the same record right now as Moravian does. Cooper Haber from the corner. Got it! Free ball by Cooper Haber from downtown.
Cooper Haber is automatic off the catch. Even if there's a defender right in his face, it doesn't matter. Right at 40% on the year from deep. One of the best shooters in the landmark. About as good off the ball as you can find offensively.
The one thing Cooper Haber talks a lot about is how he's able to get his shot in the right spot. It's one thing that he mentioned yesterday as well prior to the game. So it's been great to see his shooting stroke on fire now, of course, as he nails that three to start off here in the first half early. So Riverhawks able to force another turnover, and they get the ball back again. Michael Perone is doubled. Van Wagner going inside. Beautiful pass. Levitt open layup. Good.
Yeah, Brandon Lavitt was not going to let himself miss that layup twice in a row. Good play there by the talented junior forward.
That's one thing Frank Marsek talked a lot about, that Brandon Lavitt is due for a big game and starts it off with that driving layup inside off the beautiful feed from his starting point guard. There's the shot on the side. That one no good. Ratcliffe going for it, and it ends up in the hands of Billy Anderson, and the Riverhawks go back the other way. What a beautiful feed. Lavitt's there again. Another layup for Brandon Lavitt. Quick timeout by the Greyhounds. What a heads up there by Jackson Van Wagner. He gets back-to-back assists on back-to-back possessions.
Yeah, that was an absolute diamond transition by Jackson Van Wagner, the best passer on this team. Brandon Lavitt's been flying up and down the floor so far. High energy plays so far from Lavitt.
Susquehanna off to a quick start as they're up 9-4 here in the first half with 16 minutes to go. And we'll be back after the timeout. Back at it inside OW House Gymnasium. Early first half action here in the second game of our doubleheader. Susquehanna currently leading Moravian 9-4 as they find Ratcliffe inside against Billy Anderson. His shot no good. Van Wagner hustles for the ball. Michael Perone
looking ahead of the field, and now the Riverhawks will reset their offense. Looking for the open man. Billy Anderson on the right side, guarded by Ratcliffe. That'll be a fun matchup to watch tonight. Anderson inside, looks to go inside. Layup is no good. Fight for the rebound. Ratcliffe comes up with it.
Yeah, good defensive play there by Marquise Ratliff, known for his offense, but he is a true two-way player.
A stoppage of play here. Let's see what this is about. Not sure what that call was for, but regardless, Moravian will inbound the ball here. And inside it goes to Porter Kelly. He drives in, backs out instead, goes to Ratcliffe in the corner. Hesitated for the three, now he drives in against Billy Anderson, going up. And pass to outside, they move it around. Leonardo with it now. He drives in, looking, he gets triple teamed outside to Kelly. In the corner for three, no good, rattles in and out. That was halfway down, but rattles out of the rim, and the Riverhawks go back the other way.
Yeah, that was a really good closeout defensively by Cooper Haberern. Shooter was open in the corner, but Haberern's contest is what really led to the miss.
Defenders trying to come from behind and corral Billy Anderson there, and now he gets a beautiful feed from Jackson Van Wagner, and he's fouled. Luke Fryer and Audric Washington both at the scorer's table for Susquehanna. It's one of the important things to watch here with these two centers, with Anderson and Audric Washington, how they're able to bounce back, and how Frank Marcinic is able to bounce back and forth between both. Anderson's first free throw is perfectly through. Jackson Van Wagner heading to the bench now. A few assists for him so far to start. Luke Fryer, of course, the first-year guard. And he's had some incredible minutes, of course. So a lot of key things for him to watch as well. He's got quick speed for a point guard. And has been able to make some big plays down the stretch. There's that drive inside by Chad Kratzer. And the foul looks like it's going to go on Michael Perrone.
Kratzer, the junior guard, really good floor spacer, shooting 37% from deep this year. Moravian as a team really shoots the three ball well. One of the higher marks in the landmark this year, just shy of 36% as a whole.
That's one of the things with this team, why they've been so successful. And there's a three ball in the corner. That one's no good. Rebounded by Audric Washington in the game now. And there once again is the first year guard, Luke Fryer, now running the Riverhawk offense as he's been able to play in this backup role behind Jackson Van Wagner. There's Fryer. Mid-range jumper. Rattles in and out. And the Greyhounds take it back the other way. Kratzer looking to move the ball up quick. To the other side, Leonardo, three ball, got it! Over the head of Luke Fryer. That three ball is good by Michael Leonardo, the senior.
Yeah, good ball movement there in transition. Moravian able to pick their spots well on the made three.
That tip going in and out, and Brandon Lavitt tips it in off the missed shot by Michael Perrone. Riverhawks get another point on the board right there. Greyhounds move it quickly back the other way. Kratzer kicks it out. Ratcliffe, that one tipped. Perrone saves it behind his back, right to Haberern, and they're moving the ball quickly the other way. The layup is no good by Brandon Lavitt. A very, very quick sequence right there put on by the Riverhawks. How about the started with the hustle and the save by Michael Perrone and leading to a foul call. And now Brandon Lavitt will get the shoot at the line.
Michael Perrone is a nuisance to probably deal with defensively. Active hands in passing lanes, blocked the shot earlier. A really, really good defensive player.
Absolutely, and of course his shooting touch is one thing that can also be brought to his game as well. As now Michael Perrone looks like it's going to be Cooper Haberern actually that heads to the bench. And now we have the sophomore Logan Rhodes from Richmond, Virginia, as he comes in for some action.
Yeah, Rhodes, the two-sport athlete. We talked about it on Wednesday with his role on this team growing now that the football season has wrapped up. A high-energy player who is not afraid to shoot the ball. He's a good shooter. The shot didn't fall necessarily in the win against Juniata, but a player who can space the floor and gives this team impressive physical minutes on both ends.
He's also a very good skill player, too, so that's another important thing to watch for as well, as Ratcliffe inside draws the foul. Looks like another one going on Michael Perrone here. Second team foul on Susquehanna. And that'll be Marquise Ratcliffe going to the line.
Both Ratcliffe and Kreitzer good free-throw shooters as that one rattles in. Ratcliffe sits at around 74% on the year. Kreitzer sits just shy of 80%.
Ratcliffe in his last matchup, he had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 block shots in that game as well, of course. And of course, which has led to this Moravian team being 11-5 overall as he gets the next free throw to go, making it 14-9 Susquehanna. Inbound goes to Washington. He's got to find somewhere to go. Instead, it's Luke Fryer. They got to find a way to get it up the floor here. Yes, they do. They'll get it across the half-court line. It's like a screen was trying to come around. There's Audric Washington, and a foul is called away from the ball. So that one is away from the ball right there. Van Wagner comes back in right away. So Michael Perone with 2 fouls takes a quick seat. He gets an ovation right away.
Yeah, certainly not ideal to have Perone, arguably your best perimeter defender, in foul trouble early, so probably the right call to take him out for Van Wagner.
Van Wagner fakes the jump shot over to the corner. Luke Fryer gets out of the double team, drives in between 2 defenders, and now he's got Audric Washington there in the post against Ratcliffe. Goes up. Shot is off the rim. Brandon Lavin with another one. Tips it in again. We mentioned before Brandon Lavin was due for a big game. He's off to a hot start. And there's a stop right there. Another foul call. That's going to go on Logan Rhodes. That one on the floor. So 13 foul on the Riverhawks, and the Greyhounds will inbound it. As it's pretty much Kreitzer and Ratcliffe, and much of the bench now from Moravian getting some early minutes here. Kreitzer, three-pointer, right wing, good! Big time shot for the Greyhounds. They find themselves back within 4.
Yeah, they needed that one. It has not been a great start for Moravian. They were down by 7. Huge 3 from Kreitzer, and that was a long one, a good 2 or 3 steps beyond the line, but he can really shoot it from deep.
And that quick pass there is Audric Washington was driving down. How about that? It's going to go the other way. Turnover there as Washington was bringing it down the floor. Was looking to find Brandon Lavin, who was kind of surrounded. So now Brandon Lavin's going to take a seat. Billy Anderson will be back in the game. So now both of the Riverhawks centers will be down there in the low post.
Yeah, I'm intrigued of what type of production we're going to get here. Both of these guys are traditional bigs, whereas somebody like Lavin is someone who can switch around the floor defensively. So I'm curious to see how the Riverhawks are going to look, especially on the defensive end of the floor, with the 2 bigs out there at the same time.
And now on the outside, Luke Fryer is guarding Kreitzer. Kreitzer gets it again. He gets another look on the other wing. That time no good. Jackson Van Wagner between 2 defenders, skies in and grabs the rebound. Now he's surrounded. They got to get help. Logan Rhodes is to it. And it's going to stay with the Riverhawks.
Looking more at this 2-big lineup here. In the win against Juniata on Wednesday, I thought Billy Anderson and Audric Washington both individually played really good games, but I felt like the minutes when they were both on the floor, the defense was just a little bit slower. They couldn't switch onto the perimeter as well, which, again, is why a guy like Lavin is so important. He's got the size, but also the speed to be able to guard just about every position.
And there's always a plus and a minus with that as well. Logan Rhodes wide open, 3-ball, right down the middle. He's got it. Big time 3-ball from the sophomore Logan Rhodes. Greyhounds now down by 7. Off to the other side, back over to Kreitzer. He drives in against Anderson. Ratcliffe gets the feed. Leonardo's on the outside. Instead, they find the 3-ball on the other side. It's no good. A missed shot by number 33, Alex Dietz. And now the Riverhawks go the other way off the missed shot. Luke Fryer trying to run the offense now. He gets it over to Van Wagner. Inside, Audric Washington backs it in. Logan Rhodes, he's going to try another 3. No good that time. Kreitzer inside with the board. Kreitzer drives in, pass. Fryer goes in, layup no good. Rebound by Anderson. And Van Wagner's got it going the other way for Susquehanna. And Luke Fryer's going to reset, see if they can get a good shot off. Logan Rhodes has got it, back to Fryer. Washington sets the pick. Luke Fryer's looking for a good look. Hands off to Van Wagner. Anderson trying to post up. Instead, Audric Washington misses the jump shot, no good. Ratcliffe got it the other way, and Kreitzer brings it up for the Greyhounds. Luke Fryer picks him up yet again. He's trying to draw up a play here. Ratcliffe gets it now at the top of the circle. Dietz swings inside. And Fryer trying to play some good defense here. 10 on the shot clock. Ratcliffe inside, goes in, spins against Anderson, banks it in.
What a great play there by Marquise Ratcliffe. The footwork there, really impressive. Anderson defended him quite well, but Ratcliffe was able to make a really nice spin. Good touch around the rim to bring the lead within 5.
They always say good defense leads to better offense, and that's what the case there was. Washington spins against Ratcliffe. Shot is blocked by Leonardo, but Billy Anderson is right there, and he puts it back in.
And a good response there by Anderson. 5 points, 5 rebounds. He's been busy so far in the first half, bringing the lead back up to 7. Hard to complain with this start if you're Susquehanna. The Riverhawks, overall, pretty impressive on both ends.
Leonardo from the top of the key. 3-ball right down the middle. He's got it.
Big shot for Leonardo. 2 for 2 from deep so far. Keep getting them the ball. Has not been one of their more efficient three-point shooters on the year, but he's someone who can really space the floor, and when he's on, he's one of the better shooters on this team.
When you give a guy like him an open look, he'll take it any day of the week. Billy Anderson posting it up. He's got the matchup he wants with Kratzer. Gets doubled with Leonardo, spins, and banks it in.
Yeah, that was a great play there. 2-man game with Fryer and Anderson. They got the mismatch, leading to the bucket.
And Ratcliffe answers right back as Billy Anderson was trying to get back and played some good defense against him there as well. And that's the thing with Ratcliffe you got to watch. His post work in the low post is spectacular.
Absolutely, a phenomenal post player, but somebody who can play on the perimeter as well. A big reason why he'll be in contention for an all-conference first-team spot at the end of the year.
Billy Anderson's got it now. The mismatch again. Jackson Van Wagner guarded by Leonardo. Washington, 6 to shoot. They got to get something off. Van Wagner's going to take the 3. It is no good. And Washington saves the rebound. There's another 20 seconds on the clock. Anderson inside. No good, but a foul.
That was a really good pass off the rebound by Audric Washington. When you have bigs who can pass, like both Anderson and Washington can, it really opens things up for your offense, and we see it on full display there.
And outside of the shooting for the start of this game, the goal has been to feed the centers, and both of these teams have been doing it for Billy Anderson and for Ratcliffe as well in that scenario, of course. Anderson hits the first free throw. So Cooper Hayburn and Brandon Lavitt re-enter. Audric Washington and Luke Fryer to the bench. Brandon Lavitt so far to start. He's got 10 points, 2 for 2 from the line, 4 for 6 from the field, 2 rebounds as well to go with that.
Coach said he wanted a big game out of Brandon Lavitt, and so far he has definitely gotten that. Lavitt's not only been one of Susquehanna's best players offensively today, but he's been really good on defense. He's been really good in transition. Not a surprise to see them look to rush to get him back in the game.
Billy Anderson, of course, hits the second free throw. Now the Greyhounds back the other way. 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Kratzer takes the 3, looks for an opening. Leonardo back to Kratzer on the wing. He's got 12 to shoot here. Guarded by Logan Rhodes. Crosses over, drives in. Is no good. And a foul. Let's see if this is going to go on. It should be Logan Rhodes. And that is correct. 4th team foul on Susquehanna. It's going to be George Cutler to inbound. Throws it into Kelly, who's back in now. Leonardo, guarded by Cooper Hayburn. Drives in. And a beautiful pass inside. Kratzer goes up with it. How about that shot? He is pumped up, going right in front of Anderson for the layup, and he nails it.
Yeah, it looks like he had some words there for Rhodes. Those two have been dueling on that end of the floor. Kratzer, a great offensive player. Rhodes, very talented defensively. Those guys have had quite the fun matchup so far.
Cooper Hayburn from 3, banks it in! How about that answer for Susquehanna? One of the best shooters in the landmark, doing it once again.
And when you have the green light like Cooper Hayburn, you can afford to take shots like that. A really impressive make, quickly running up the floor, banks it in.
He got the green light down Main Street, and he took it and nailed it. Cutler drives in, outside, travel, turnover, Riverhawk basketball.
And they made the 3 off the travel. That was Porter Kelly who made the shot, but Cutler's footwork at the end there got a little bit sloppy. And 3 points taken off the board. A big call against Moravian.
So now with the substitution here, Steven Ressler getting his first action of the day. And Logan Rhodes now on the bench. So Steven Ressler playing at the point guard spot right now. So it's kind of rotating between several guys right now, which is something that is really good for this team, kind of to be able to find a way to mix it around. Steven Ressler guarded by Kratzer. Brandon Lavitt, so far with 10 points on the day. Inside he goes to Billy Anderson. Double team by Leonardo. Steven Wrestler drives in, fakes the three. Inside, Anderson, beautiful feeling. How about the execution there by Susquehanna? Wrestler finding Anderson. Kratzer going back the other way. Double team under the basket. Gets it back outside. Kelly fakes the three, drives in over the Leonardo, into the corner. Kratzer for three, good.
Great ball movement on that possession by Moravian. They saw the weak side was wide open, so they're able to get it there to Kratzer, who sinks another triple. Overall, an impressive start for him scoring-wise. He's got 8, tied for Ratcliffe for the team lead.
And that time the ball off of the foot of Steven Wrestler. So Riverhawk turnover, giving the Greyhounds another possession here. So even with the centers going at it as well, we mentioned the shooting briefly, but haven't talked much about it yet, but it's really been a key factor in this game, what's keeping it so close together.
Certainly, both offenses are playing some really high-level basketball right now. Good ball movement, good shooting, good everything.
Leonardo didn't have room for the three there, passes it out instead. Cutler drives in. Nice Euro step against Anderson. How about that move?
Yeah, really good job there by George Cutler. That's not an easy play to make when you're a smaller guard at 6'1", matched up with a 6'8" big man in Anderson, but Cutler wins the battle there with a great move inside.
Your footwork has to be matched up really well to make a play like that, and that's one thing that he is so good at. Lavitt goes inside, kicks it out. Van Wagner, Wrestler, over to the side. Hayburn fakes the three, back to Wrestler. They were looking for the three-pointer on the outside, and now look to go in the low post. Lavitt has it against Leonardo. Spins, goes inside, up top, and blocks. That was Leonardo there as well with Demetric Harris. And that time the ball tipped out of bounds. Beautiful defense on the sideline by Cooper Hayburn. And that time Porter Kelly could not keep it in play.
Let's go back to that previous offensive possession by Susquehanna where they were spreading the ball around the perimeter. As you said, they wanted a three, and I thought Wrestler at the top of the key, after the pass from Van Wagner on the left, I thought he should have taken that shot instead of passing it to Hayburn. But nonetheless, the Riverhawks were able to get a solid look even though it was blocked.
Anderson blocked several times, and now he scores. And like you mentioned before about that possession, it's also about the open spot. If you have the open spot, take the shot. There's no reason not to in that situation, of course. But now we have the Greyhounds back the other way. Miscue. Kratzer still has it, and he nails another three.
Yeah, Kratzer's on one right now. He is making just about everything. These are not easy shots, and he has drained them consistently. One of the best shooters in the Landmark, and he has certainly showed up in this first half.
And he answers right away again off of a turnover and gets the layup. He's got 14 points here in the first half with 4.5 to go. And another turnover again. Luke Fryer throws that one a little too far. Haber not able to get to it. And now the Greyhounds are only down by 1. So basically, a 5-point trip down the floor for the Greyhounds could lead to even more here.
And I'm not surprised to see both Perron and Van Wagner coming into the game. The ball movement from Susquehanna in those last two sequences was really sloppy. They need their better passers in the game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they call a timeout soon. Right now, Moravian's got the momentum.
And that's the one thing Frank Marcinic wanted to clean up. Of course, that three ball no good from Kelly. Jackson Van Wagner has it now. He's guarded by George Cutler. Van Wagner looking for the open spot. Cooper Hayburn, corner, three. In and out, halfway down. Greyhounds pushing it back the other way. They got their center Marquise Ratcliffe back in the game as well. Heat check. Kratzer! Oh my goodness! He's got another three, and we got some Greyhound fans on the sidelines here that love what they're seeing.
There's not much to say there. He is shooting the ball at an unbelievable level right now, about 5 feet beyond the three-point line. And as we talked about with Cooper Hayburn's green light, when you shoot the ball as well as Kratzer, you're going to take those shots. That one goes in. He is playing unbelievably well. The Riverhawks have had no answers for him defensively. He's been able to get open. He's been able to create his own shot. He's been able to shoot off the catch and has had some really impressive makes so far. Susquehanna's got to find a way to contain him because he's taking over the game.
It's been a spectacular first half from what we've seen so far. And for what this Moravian team has done, their plan for so far has been Chad Kratzer, get him the ball, and get him shooting. And that has worked out to perfection so far for what he's been able to do. 16 points on the floor. He's 4 for 5 from downtown, 6 for 9 from the field. So almost perfect shooting for Chad Kratzer.
And you can tell by his body language, he's focused. He's locked in. He wants it. And right now he is feeling himself with some of these impressive makes.
And look at this already. You got the Greyhounds playing a press defense, and there was a George Cutler foul against Cooper Hayburn.
Yeah, they've been keeping Cutler up there to press. Now they have another defender with him. The press has worked perfectly over these last few minutes, so Moravian figures, why stop now? It has really led to some big shots. Susquehanna's having trouble getting it into the half court. They've got to adjust offensively.
And now what you got to think is with this press defense for the Riverhawks, you got to know what you got to be able to do is find a way to set up your offense. The Greyhounds are just trying to find a way to slow it down here. There's Cooper Hayburn, feeds it inside to Billy Anderson, and he's fouled by Leonardo. Leonardo got caught reaching there. It's the sixth team foul for the Greyhounds in the first half. Leads to another Riverhawk possession. Van Wagner to inbound. Inside it goes to Perone. Van Wagner doesn't go for the three. Drives in. Feeds it. Anderson. Back and forth. Lavitt couldn't hold on to it, and Leonardo takes it away. Greyhounds pushing the other way. Leonardo was trying to get it to Ratcliffe, and that time the ball was skipped around, and the Riverhawks go back the other way. Perone driving in. Layup is good.
I kind of figured he was going to pass it out to Hayburn. It looked like he was going to have some space, but a good drive by Perone. He's been playing some really good basketball over these last few games as he's in for a really impressive layup.
That was a beautiful play, of course, by that on the inside, of course, and now Kelly gets it on the outside, fakes the three. Ratcliffe, top of the key, three-pointer, got it! Three-point lead now for the Greyhounds. Marquise Ratcliffe from downtown hits that one from the top of the circle.
And that was really good ball movement there. When Kelly got it on the perimeter, I thought he was going to shoot it, but he makes a nice fake out to Ratcliffe, who puts Moravian back ahead.
And now the Riverhawks will reset here on offense. They get it to their top scorer in the game right now, Brandon Lavitt. Lavitt looking for an opening. 10 to shoot. The screen fake set there. Van Wagner kicks it out. Perone, Hayburn, corner, three. No good. Rebound inside by Porter Kelly. Kratz the other way. Passes to Kelly. Doesn't take the three, instead goes to his center, Marquise Ratcliffe. The ball is loose, no whistle called, and Anderson gets the steal.
I think that's a good no call. I didn't see any contact there that should have been necessarily a foul, just a good defensive play by Billy Anderson.
And it's something you would have heard too as well. Anderson pulls and hits the three from downtown.
And Billy Anderson's ability to shoot the ball means you need to respect him as a shooter, and that means you can't necessarily sag off of him on the perimeter, which opens up spacing for everybody else on the floor.
And how about that? That one inside. Kratzer goes in. Gets it to go. That one's on the floor, so I don't think it's going to count. But regardless, like you said before, for Billy Anderson, with his ability to shoot the ball from the outside, that's been a big thing, not even just in Division III, but in other basketball leagues, with big men being able to shoot the three ball, it's a great skill to have.
Absolutely, and when you have 4 to 5 guys on the floor at a time who can shoot, it just opens up so much for your offense. It leaves space inside for guys to drive. And obviously, when you have threats to shoot the ball, your team can get hot as a three-point shooting unit, as we've seen at times throughout the year for the Riverhawks.
Chad Kratzer, the big day for Susquehanna, can't hit the free throw. He's got 16 points on the day. Luke Fryer in the game now for Susquehanna as well. Brandon Lavitt at the top, guarded by Kratzer. Over to the side, Van Wagner. A minute and a half to go here in the first half. It's been a fun one so far. 39-37 Moravian. Fryer looking for an opening, has to feed it out. 5 on the shot clock. They got to get something. Anderson, 2 to shoot. He's got to do something. Van Wagner's got to shoot it, and the Greyhounds force a 30-second shot clock violation, and the Riverhawks turn it over.
Yeah, really good defensive sequence there by Moravian. I think that's on Anderson. Not an easy matchup with Marquise Ratcliffe, who's a really good defender. But with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, you can't really expect Jackson Van Wagner to get a quick open look with that little amount of time. So even though it wouldn't have been a great shot to take, what choice did he really have?
And this Moravian team has been able to force the Riverhawks onto the outside, specifically on that possession, not able to get anywhere inside. Anderson was able to get in the post, but not really be able to do much with that. Kratzer going inside against Van Wagner. That shot's no good. He was looking for the foul there. Kind of a question mark from his eyes as the Riverhawks take it the other way, led by Jackson Van Wagner in their offense. Looking to push it. We got a minute left here in the first half. Anderson inside. And a travel.
Yeah, he took a few too many steps there. Anderson's having a really good game, but that's a couple sloppy offensive possessions in a row. Nonetheless, he's been fantastic. He's got 16 points, 6 of 8 shooting, so it's hard to really complain with his performance. But the last couple of possessions there, certainly not to his standard.
And that brings Audric Washington back into the game for the final minute as Billy Anderson will get a rest. Kratzer over to the side. They keep moving it around here. Greyhounds are rolling with much of their bench here now. There's Porter Kelly. Kelly drives in against Cooper Hayburn. Layup is no good. Levitt with the rebound, and he holds on to it. 30 seconds coming up out here to end the half. Hayburn looking for three. Good! Cooper Hayburn with another three. Seemed like perfect spot, perfect place for Hayburn. Had the open look and took it. 13 seconds left on the clock. Now 10. Here's Kelly. This should be the final possession of the half. Riverhawks looking for one more defensive stand going into halftime. And that time Washington is right there. Kratzer not able to get it off in time. That takes us into halftime. A back and forth first half. It's been an exciting day of basketball here on the campus of Susquehanna University.
Yeah, we have been treated to an absolute show. Both teams putting on a clinic offensively, and much like the first game we saw today, right now you've got two stars who are dueling. Jack Kratzer, 18 points, 4 or 5 from deep. He's got a missile from beyond the arc, and it's been automatic. For Susquehanna, Billy Anderson with 16. I think the one big blemish on Moravian right now is that they haven't really been able to defend inside. Anderson's had a lot of good looks in the paint. Brendan Lavitt's had a lot of really good looks in the paint. Marquise Ratcliffe is a good defensive big, but the rest of this team is so perimeter-oriented that they don't necessarily have the size to match up with the bigs that Susquehanna presents, and that's been a problem defensively for the Greyhounds.
That's been the thing going up against Moravian. When you have a team like this with a star center and you have a bunch of shooters around that are able to shoot the ball, it is a very tall task at hand. So right now at halftime, Susquehanna 40, Moravian 39. We'll be back in about 15 minutes or so for the start of the second half.
Half the battle is actually shooting the ball, but half of it is getting yourself open, moving without the ball in your hands, and he has become really good at that. A big reason why he is so effective as really blame him for taking that shot. He has not been missing for the most part from beyond the arc. That time it doesn't go in, though.
When a shooter has his touch, he'll take the shot, and that's how the result will be. And Cooper Hebron has done that so far today. Kratzer off the screen. He's going to drive in, crossover against Van Wagner. 10 on the shot clock. Van Wagner trying to lock him down. Ratcliffe for three. No good, air ball. Out of bounds. Riverhawk basketball.
A really good closeout there on the contest by Brandon Lavitt, and as we touched on in the first half, I think he's one of the more unsung heroes defensively at this team, again, because of his size and strength inside to bang down low, but he's got the quickness to switch onto the perimeter more so than the other bigs on this team do.
It's been a huge success for the Riverhawks here this season. Perone driving in, layup, no good, but a foul.
And again with Perone, somebody with his speed and his quickness inside to be able to draw fouls, to be able to make tough layups. He's a really, really good driver to the basket. We saw it there. It's hard to beat him with his first step. It's hard to affect the shot even with contact. And now he will get two at the stripe. A really solid three-throw shooter, now over 86% on the year.
A great season for Michael Perone. Like we said, the shooting was down a little bit, but so far this year he has looked on point. Slow start for him, 4 points, make it 5 now with the free throw. 2 for 6 from the field. And despite that, he's still able to make contributions as well.
Yeah, even though the three-point percentage is not what it was last year, he's shooting it well from two, he's shooting it well at the three-throw line, and that's really valuable as a small guard to be able to finish around the rim. Not an easy skill for somebody who's generally one of the smaller players on the floor, but something that he has really excelled at throughout the course of this year.
And Michael Perone will now take a seat, and in the first-year guard, Luke Fryer is back in at the guard spot. Now the Greyhounds looking to get something going here. Kratzer fakes the three. Instead of the pass off, there's the shot. That one no good. Attempted by Kolmaniski. And the Riverhawks go back the other way. Lavitt gravels that one up. Van Wagner looking to run the offense here. They go outside. Luke Fryer for three. No good. Rebounded by Michael Leonardo.
I think there's a lot of similarities between Perone and Fryer, another smaller guard who's really efficient from two. And when we talked about Fryer on Wednesday, I described him as a savvy, instinctive guard. Once the three-point shot starts to fall for him, he's going to become a really well-rounded offensive player.
Absolutely, because of his positioning and the guys that he's playing behind, that he's going to be able to learn from in these situations, especially playing against a tough team like Moravian. The one thing about Luke Fryer that I love to always rave about, his speed, his quickness, and how he's able to move on the court, especially on defense. He's got those hands for a reason, and he uses them wisely. There's Ratcliffe on the outside. Kratzer not taking the three. There's a screen set by Ratcliffe. The drive. Leonardo for three, in and out. And that one gravelled up by Luke Fryer. Van Wagner looking to push the other way. It's Brandon Lavitt. Leonardo against him. Audric Washington, who's been quiet today, and he cannot get that one to go.
Good defensive play there by Ratcliffe, again showing his two-way ability. Quiet second half offensively for him, though.
And Kratzer quickly answers with a triple, a much-needed point for the Greyhounds. And they find themselves now back within single digits.
Yeah, they've got to continue to lean on these two-star scorers. Before that make by Kratzer, him and Ratcliffe had 0 points in the second half. They've got to feed their two stars because that's how this team has been affected this year, leaning on their two best players.
And a quick whistle there on the tip pass. It's going to stay with Susquehanna. So the Greyhounds once again defensively trying to force those turnovers in that press situation. Riverhawks will get it back, and you can see now the Greyhounds are going into that full court press. Seems like the right time for it.
Yeah, it really worked towards the end of the first half. I'm a little surprised they went away from it, but I like the call here.
Van Wagner, corner three, no good, in and out. Brandon Lavitt gets the rebound. Another 20-second shot clock for the Riverhawks. Lavitt inside, double teamed, and he traveled.
Yeah, going back to the idea of the press, I can understand how it's going to obviously tire these Moravian players out, and their key players have rarely sat on the bench. Look at a guy like Chad Kratzer. He's played 24 out of 26 minutes, so these guys are starting to get a little bit tired. But if they want to win this game, they've got to go to the press, and I think they should maybe look to have more of a rotation between some of the other players on their bench to share the floor with Ratcliffe and Kratzer. That way they've got guys consistently with high energy.
And that's the one thing, being able to take advantage of your opponent. Kratzer, jump shot, no good, rims off, Hayburn rebound. And he throws it away. Van Wagner did not see it. And a turnover, and Moravian will get it right back. So, once again, the turnovers are huge. Just like we saw in our first game today, it was the same scenario and what it led to. So it's a similar situation here that we're kind of in the middle of.
And for Moravian, quite the contrast shooting the three ball from the first half to the second half. 7 of 13 from deep in the first half, 1 for 8 here in the second half. They're really trying to get things going from deep. 8 of their 10 shots have been from 3, and it's just not falling. They've got to figure out some way to adjust.
And what a beautiful reverse layup right there by Chad Kratzer. Talk about the ability to go up with it and reverse it into the basket.
Yeah, really impressive, really athletic play for Kratzer, and he now has 23.
The Riverhawks slow it down here. Michael Perone looking for an opening. Passes it. And a foul, looks like by Perone's defender, which was Taylor Perlmutter, sophomore guard from New York, New York. And on the sideline, Luke Fryer throws it in. Logan Rhodes back in the game now, getting some minutes for Susquehanna. Brandon Lavitt at the top. He's guarded heavily by Michael Leonardo. Crosses over, looks to get around the free throw line, and does. Tries to find an opening. Inside, beautiful feed, and Perone is right there for the score.
Really good play off the ball there by Perone. He recognizes the open space in the paint. Good eyes by Lavitt to recognize the passing lane and make the assist.
And that time the foul away from the shot. Ratcliffe was going up with it against Audric Washington. First foul on Audric Washington. Still 10 points for Brandon Lavitt tonight. There's Ratcliffe going in against Washington this time. Can't get it to go. Rebound by Michael Perone.
Good defense there by Washington, forcing the contest and the miss. Riverhawks looking to make it a double-digit lead.
Luke Fryer going to lead the hands of it if they get to get the score here. Brandon Lavitt drives in, and he's fouled by Leonardo. His third, the 7th team foul on the Greyhounds. So 1-on-1 situation here for Brandon Lavitt at the free throw line. Once again, it's been an efficient night for him so far. 10 points, 5 rebounds to go with that as well. Shot 4 for 7 from the floor. He's 2 for 2 from the line. Perfect. And stays perfect.
Obviously, the jump shot isn't really a part of Brandon Lavitt's game. Much of his scoring comes from inside. But he's a good three-throw shooter now at 80% on the year. So even though he doesn't really shoot the ball unless he's at the line, he's pretty effective at it.
His second one is right through as well. And some more substitutions for the Riverhawks. Lavitt will take a seat. Cooper Hayburn will return. And Demetric Harris will also return for the Greyhounds. So about halfway through the second half here. 12.5 to go in the game. Susquehanna 57, Moravian 46. Chad Kratzer and Marquise Ratcliffe have been leading the way for the Greyhounds here today. There's the drive inside. Perone is defending. Ratcliffe at the top. He drives in, and he's fouled by Washington. Second foul on Audric Washington. 14th foul on Susquehanna.
And the challenge right now for Moravian with the lack of three-point shooting is that it's hard for them to score inside as well. Washington, a great rim protector.
And a beautiful steal there by Michael Perone, of course. As they're not able to get the ball back here, this would be a huge possession to get a score. Outside, Logan Rhodes for 3. Banks it in! Lucky bounce and lucky bank. It's open today for Logan Rhodes.
The roads were closed on that one. Keep shooting it, kid. He's got a nice shot, just hasn't consistently fallen.
And Marquise Ratcliffe answers right back, counted in a foul, chance for a three-point play. Another foul on Aldrich Washington, so that's another thing to keep an eye on if they have to bring Billy Anderson back into the game at some point.
Yeah, Washington's now at 3 fouls. I don't think you necessarily have to panic with that number yet, given where we are in the game, but what a great response by Marquise Ratcliffe. Susquehanna hits a big three. The gym is really starting to feel itself, and then bam, right on the other end, they get the and one. Free throw brings the lead down to 11, which he makes.
And now it brings it back to that point now. So an 11-point game, just under 12 minutes to go. Still plenty of time left for the Greyhounds to make a comeback. And it tipped around. There's the full court press. And how about that? It works that time. Another thing we mentioned here. So another turnover forced by the Greyhounds. And Frank Marcinek needs a timeout.
Yeah, Susquehanna's got to figure out how to combat the press. I would imagine that's what Coach Marcinek is certainly going to be pleading to his players during the timeout here, because Susquehanna's lone weakness today offensively is that they've struggled to get the ball past the half court with the on-ball pressure being sent by Moravian.
An exciting day of Landmark Conference basketball on the campus of Susquehanna University. It keeps building up to all the hype, and we'll be back right after this short break. Back out of here in O.W. Houts Gymnasium. Once again, back underway out of the timeout. 11:45 to go here in the second half. Susquehanna 60, Moravian 49. 11-point game on our hands here. It's been an exciting one so far. Marquise Ratcliffe driving in against Aldrich Washington. Inside the pass to Kelly, deflected and stolen. And Michael Perron grabbles it up. Luke Fryer looking to push the other way. Susquehanna has looked spectacular on offense today. Of course, they're on a 4-game winning streak, looking to make it 5. There's Logan Rhodes. He hit the three-pointer prior to the timeout. Hands it off to Luke Fryer. Washington has it now. 10 on the shot clock. Cooper Haberman trying to come around. And Washington gets it back in the post. Goes up with it. Layup, good.
Yeah, really nice possession there by Susquehanna. The two-man game with Haberman and Washington leads to the switch defensively. That gives the size advantage to Washington, being guarded by a smaller perimeter defender. That's exactly what Susquehanna wanted to do on that play, and they executed it perfectly.
A beautiful play by the Riverhawks on that possession. And now a foul on the other side here. It looks like it's going to lead to more free throws for the Greyhounds. So it'll be Chad Kratzer.
I feel like there's got to be a sense of urgency at some point offensively for Moravian. They haven't shot the three ball over the last couple of minutes, and understandably so, given that it hasn't worked in the second half. But they've got to keep the tempo pushing. Down by 13 points with less than 11 minutes to go. They need to figure out something in what is one of their biggest games of the year in terms of the standings. Remember, the loser of this game drops to 5th place, which would give you a road game in the first round of the conference tournament.
Absolutely. So with the Landmark Conference playoffs only a few weeks away, this is definitely one of the more crucial games in the standings. So if you're just tuning in now, the Landmark Conference standings as they are. Drew is 9-0 in the conference. Catholic is 8-1. Wilkes 6-3. Moravian 6-3. Susquehanna 6-3. So this game is crucial for what happens down the stretch in the rest of the Landmark Conference. For that perspective, as we'll get to those scores in just a moment for what other games are going on around the Landmark.
Yeah, and these tiebreakers are going to be really important. The head-to-head matchups could end up really leading to the seeding at the end of the standings, because Moravian has beaten Susquehanna, Susquehanna has beaten Wilkes, and Wilkes has beaten Moravian. So it's a three-way tie at 6-3. They've all beaten each other. So to be able to even up the head-to-head with a win today would just be gigantic for Susquehanna. And right now, there's still 11 minutes left, but they are currently in position to do so.
So right now, it's Wilkes playing Lycoming right now today. And that matchup is also an interesting one as well. But we'll keep our eyes back here in O.W. Houts Gymnasium. Luke Fryer looks to get inside. He's got Washington right there, trying to feed it in, has nowhere to go. Someone's got to get open. It's going to be Van Wagner with 10 on the shot clock. Washington trying to set the pick. Shot clock winding down. Van Wagner, three-pointer, got it! Jackson Van Wagner knocks down the triple.
And Wagner's not known for the outside shot, but he can hit the open one at around 35% this year.
Did a nice job right there, was Jackson Van Wagner hitting that three-pointer. And Chad Kratzer draws the foul the other way. And he will head back to the free throw line. Billy Anderson re-enters. Aldrich Washington will take a seat.
And I'm really curious to see what Susquehanna's closing lineup is going to be because, again, Washington's had a solid game. Obviously, Billy Anderson's been really good. So who do you close it with? I would think Lavitt and Anderson would probably get the look over Washington. But certainly some interesting decisions for the coaching staff.
Absolutely, especially down the stretch of this game. You want to have the right lineup in, and that's going to be the key going into these final 10 minutes. So we'll see what they decide to do. George Cutler back in for Moravian now. Their lineup also includes Ratcliffe as well, along with Porter Kelly. Of course, Kratzer shooting the free throws, and Liam Komaniski in there as well. Looks like it's kind of hard to tell if the ball was tipped in. It must have been a missed free throw there, so Moravian will get it back off of the tip that went out of bounds. Cutler to inbound. Looks like a foul away from the ball here before the inbound. It's going to go on Logan Rhodes.
I like that they've put Cutler back in the game. He's only played 7 minutes so far, but he's given them a lot of high energy. He was the guy who really sort of led the full court press revolution, if you will, at the end of the first half. He was the guy making those plays. I like that he's in the game right now.
And he does have a basket today as well. 2 points for him. And a travel. Another turnover forced.
I'm a little bit surprised by that call. I thought Logan Rhodes did a really good job getting away from traffic, making the pass. I didn't see the travel there. Obviously, the officials got a better look than we did up here, but I didn't see it.
Another crazy call right there. This game is going crazy. Kratzer, reverse layup. He's got it. And it's down to 11 again. And Frank Marcina calls another timeout.
Looks like Kratzer had some words for one of the defenders right there, and he has all the room to talk in the world. He's got 28 points right now on great splits. Susquehanna's got to find a way to stop him. He started the second half off slow, but he's looked a lot more like himself over the last couple of minutes.
So Kratzer is keeping the Greyhounds alive in this game. They're down by 11. 10 minutes to go. We'll be back after the timeout. Back at it inside this hostile environment known as OW House Gymnasium. Once again from here in the broadcast booth, I'm Adam Rothschild. Alongside me, that is Alex Weldy. And today we've been having some excellent basketball action from both the men's and women's teams of Susquehanna in this spectacular doubleheader. And once again, we're in for another fun finish in these final 10 minutes.
Yeah, we were expecting two good games today, and that is exactly what we've got. And both of these matchups have really delivered. The women's game, obviously, a very exciting one. And then here on the men's side, two of the better teams in the Landmark Conference, the current 4 seed versus the current 5 seed, in a potential first-round playoff game. Would not be surprised to see these teams meet again. The real question is where. And the outcome of this game could very well determine the location of that game.
And also the matchup with Wilkes playing Lycoming today. That's also another game we'll keep our eyes on as well for the final of that one. And we'll let you know that once the results are in. But in the meantime, both of these teams fighting for playoff positioning. Here's Jackson Van Wagner, hit a big three-pointer earlier. Perone inside. Anderson gets it off the tip pass. Goes in, loses the ball, and that one's stolen. Greyhounds looking to push the other way. Porter Kelly's got it. Look to set their offense up. Ratcliffe will take the three and rolls out. Very close to going in, and that would have been a huge shot for the Greyhounds. But now the Riverhawks moving back the other way. Hayburn's going to take a deep three. No good. Rhodes cannot get the ball. Kratzer gets it over the top of him.
I think Hayburn's thought process, even with Logan Rhodes wide open inside, is I'm going to take that shot because Rhodes is going to have the easy rebound. The problem is the ball did not bounce the way he had wanted to, and in hindsight, I bet he wishes he just made the pass.
And that time you could see Chad Kratzer just a little bit frustrated. Knew he threw the pass a little bit too high. Marquise Ratcliffe not able to get to it. So now Susquehanna getting the ball back here again. Been a fun, exciting day of Landmark Conference basketball here at Susquehanna University. Michael Perrone drives in. Layup is no good. Lavitt's got the board. Perrone gets it back. He scores.
A good play there by Perrone off of the miss. He keeps his spot, gets a little touch from Lavitt, and is in for the layup.
And just like that, Susquehanna extend this lead back to 13. Cutler inside. Leonardo outside. Kratzer takes it. No good. And Cooper Hayburn grabs that one. Susquehanna heading the other way.
Both teams shot the three ball lights out in the first half. Second half, it's been more one-sided. The Riverhawks 5 of 11. Moravian now 1 of 9.
Anderson missed shot. They were looking for a foul call. And that's a score. Brandon Lavitt. A nice sequence there for the Riverhawks. And now the Greyhounds looking to get the open shot. They got to do this quickly. Not a lot of time left in this game. Kelly outside. Cutler at the top. Takes the three. No good. Rims out. And it's going the other way. Foul against the Greyhounds. Or it looks like it's going to stay here, rather. Or actually, I might have mixed that up, actually.
And that's his 4th foul. He's 1 away from being taken out of the game, but if you're Moravian, I feel like you got to keep him in there. I like the decision to keep him on the floor. The only way they're going to outscore Susquehanna by at least 15 in the next 8 minutes is with Marquise Ratcliffe on the floor. So obviously it's a risk, given that he's 1 foul away from fouling out of the game, but you really don't have a choice. What you got to do is you got to make sure he plays softer defense to where he doesn't foul. The problem with that is he's their only really good rim protector, so I think it's going to be easy for Susquehanna to score in the paint the rest of the way.
Yeah, it's a major risk, especially with him being one of your top scorers and top rebounders on this team. And for Susquehanna, you got to think the strategy here. You know he has 4 fouls on offense. You're running the ball down the floor. You get into that situation, you got to pressure him down in the low post.
Absolutely. Target him because either you're going to have an easy look inside since it's harder for him to defend, or draw the foul and he's out of the game.
Michael Perrone driving in, crossing over. Cooper Hayburn in the corner. He has not got that 3 down, and the ball is scrambled around and into the hands of the Greyhounds as they head the other way. Kratzer looking to drive in, try to get something going. Ratcliffe was wide open. They swing it around to Ratcliffe. Kratzer gets it back, goes in, fakes the jump shot, goes in. Ratcliffe is got it.
Nice play there by Marquise Ratcliffe. They defended him really well, but he's able to get that one up and in. He also has to watch out for potentially an offensive foul, so a good job there of not initiating contact.
Absolutely a great job there by him, of course, as Michael Perrone has it back now. Riverhawks reset. But another thing for the Riverhawks, too. Try to wind down the clock a little bit as much as you can here and get a good look every time down on the floor. They'll get Cooper Hayburn against Leonardo. Looking for the shot. Michael Perrone has it now. He'll drive in against Leonardo. Shot no good. Rebounded by Ratcliffe. And here go the Greyhounds. Kratzer going the other way. Thought about the 3. Passes it off instead. Kratzer has it back at the top of the circle. Leonardo at the free throw line. He has Billy Anderson on him. Decides to take the 3. And it was worth it as he nails it.
Big shot for Michael Leonardo. He's had some nice makes tonight, but has been quiet in the second half. They've got to continue to let it fly from deep. That's their best avenue in terms of a comeback, even though they're not shooting it well in the second half. With 6.5 minutes left, down by 11, what choice do they really have?
They really got to get some big defensive stops here especially and try to stop Brandon Lavitt and this Riverhawk offense. There's Cooper Hayburn off to Billy Anderson. Anderson going inside. Defender lost him, and he lays it in! Beautiful play by Billy Anderson driving in with the score, and now he tips that one away, and it looks like the ball is going to go the other way.
As we look at the current lineup that the Riverhawks have in the game, I like this closing group. You've got the 2 best guards, Van Wagner and Perrone. Hayburn's your shooter, and I like that it's Anderson and Lavitt as the 4 and the 5.
And now Marquise Radcliffe has fouled out of the game since that foul was against him. Saw the fans on the student section on the sideline just waving goodbye to him.
I like that he was trying to get back in the game there. Hope that the officials weren't paying attention. But it's not going to work. That's a brutal loss for Moravian. He's been their best player throughout the year. He's been their second best player today. Not having him obviously hurts things offensively because now they really only have one go-to scorer with Kratzer, but more so defensively. They don't really have any other rim protectors on this roster, so it's going to be really easy for the Riverhawks to get good looks inside, whether it's either of the bigs with Anderson or Lavitt. They're bigger and stronger than just about everyone on the floor, but also someone like Michael Perrone, who's such a good slasher. The only guy he's had trouble with is when he's matched up inside with Ratcliffe. So now that there's not much of a size advantage between him and the other defenders, that's going to make it easier for him to drive inside.
Absolutely, and of course Ratcliffe today, he finished with 16 points, shot 6 for 11 from the floor. And Michael Perrone, like you mentioned, there he is driving in, finds Billy Anderson, can't get it to go. The ball is scrambled around, picked up by Kratzer. 5:45 to go. There's Porter Kelly. Ball spinned around, he still has it. Kratzer now driving in, and the layup is good.
Great play there by Kratzer, but I want to go back to the last Susquehanna possession. Jametrick Harris was there as the defender. He's only 6'3", but I think they're going to be tasking him with a spot down low. They're going to be putting a lot on his plate, and I thought he did a good job there to start getting the stop. Leonardo as well, he's 6'6". He's more of the guard, but he's the tallest player for them on the floor.
And there's the press again, and another turnover. This press is working well now for the Greyhounds. They're still within this game. They just got to use the time wisely. There's Jametrick Harris. Kelly's going to take a three. And no good. It bounced off the top and dropped out. Jackson Van Wagner looking to slow things down, but they got to get it across the half-court line, and they do. There's Hayburn. Lavitt. Van Wagner looking to slow things down here. Clock winding under 5 minutes to go. Here's Billy Anderson. Feeds to Michael Perrone. Perrone looking to get inside. Van Wagner fakes the three. Drives in instead. Handoff to Anderson. Going inside, and he's fouled.
A good offensive possession there by Susquehanna. Efficient ball movement, and they also took a lot of time off the clock. And now with under 5 minutes to go and an 11-point lead, the goal should be taking as much time off as possible. I thought they did an outstanding job there of not letting Moravian really have a chance to force a turnover. And now Billy Anderson goes to the line.
Yeah, despite some turnovers down the stretch, Susquehanna has still been able to hold on to this lead. And they now continue to extend it up to 12.
Yeah, so it's really just a matter of playing smart basketball the rest of the way, avoiding turnovers, not letting Moravian move up the floor super quickly. And if Susquehanna does that, they should be able to win this game.
2 for 2 from the line goes Anderson, and he now will take a seat, and Aldrich Washington will enter as there's a standing ovation for Billy Anderson. And the sideline, his bench, cannot be more than pleased with his performance today. See what Moravian has on this last stretch. They find the big man inside. That's Jametrick Harris with the score.
A nice play there by Harris, and again, they're going to need him to be clutch for them over these next few minutes. A talented first year who, again, with the foul out of Ratcliffe, has a lot on his plate.
Riverhawks once again are stuck against this full court press situation. Cooper Hayburn, cross-court pass. Perrone's got it, drives in, layup is good! Count the basket and a foul!
That's one of the biggest plays of the night, and that's probably the loudest we've seen this gym tonight. As we've talked about with Perrone, his ability to score in contact as a smaller guard is really, really impressive. It's something that he's gotten really good at. And the Riverhawks have themselves quite the player over the next couple of years. With him just being a sophomore, his development, again, has been so key for this team throughout the course of the year.
And now Leonardo is fouled out as well, so another big-time player for the Greyhounds that will not be able to get any more minutes. But the one thing we mentioned about Michael Perrone, the way he's able to attack the basket, his physicality, his toughness, and he was able to do that on that driving layup, and he converts the three-point play at the line.
And with the loss of Leonardo, he is more of a perimeter player, but he's also 6'6". He's the one guy with a lot of height who was left. So now they have a really small group of 5 in the game right now. The Riverhawks have the clear size advantage across the board.
Absolutely, and now they feed it inside. Jametrick Harris can't make the free throw line jumper. And now the Riverhawks Feel like they have what they need in their grasp. Perone driving quickly to the basket. Reverse layup, no good, but a foul.
Perone's ability to change speed is really impressive. When he got the ball at the three-point line, he was going in full speed, but then right as he gets to the rim, as he jumps in the air, it's almost like he stops a little bit, which sort of leads to the defender jumping into him, and that's how he's able to draw the foul. So his ability to switch up his speed and his short area quickness is really impressive. Another very impressive attribute of his game.
Spectacular day again for Michael Perone. He gets that one right through as he gets the free throw to go. Spectacular day for Susquehanna as they've been able to do a lot of incredible things today. 13 points for Michael Perone. Goes 1 for 2 at the line. Greyhounds going the other way with this small ball lineup pretty much now with their two big guys fouled out with Leonardo and Ratcliffe no longer able to play as they have both fouled out in this game. Porter Kelly looking to find the opening. Harris is waiting for it. Washington tipped it away, and he's going to get called for the foul.
That's his fourth foul. He's one away from being taken out of the game, but maybe not necessarily as dramatic as, say, Ratcliffe or Leonardo, given that Moravian was down by a lot when those guys were fouled out. Obviously, if Washington were to be taken out of the game, the Riverhawks would have a much more stable lead.
Absolutely, with that situation, of course, but for Susquehanna, knowing they have this lead, just got to find a way to hold on to it over these last 3.5 minutes. The Greyhounds, despite two of their best players being fouled out, of course they got Kratzer, their spot-up shooter, still in there, but it's gonna be up to Porter Kelly and, of course, Chad Kratzer to try and lead the way. They're down 13 points with 3.5 to go. They're once again still playing in this full court press. Aldrich Washington comes up to grab the ball. Let's see who gets open here again. Van Wagner has it now. They got to get it over the half-court line. Big pressure defense. They find Michael Perone, who's wide open, and they're able to get it across. Perone double-teamed again, gets out of it, and he's fouled. And a technical foul on Kratzer. The crowd was waiting for that one. It finally happened.
He doesn't like it, but you can't necessarily bark at the officials when you're called for a foul. I think it's one thing after you make an impressive shot, as long as you don't cross the line, it's cool. But in that instance, he's got to keep his mouth shut. And now Perone will go to the line. Moravian doesn't really have any choice but to double the ball handler as they do there. That time, though, it results in the foul.
And especially with your team being down 13, you cannot afford to do that. And now this leads to more free throws, which is another problem for Moravian. So Michael Perone getting back to the free throw line. And that one is good. So Perone will get one more. Plus, this also means Susquehanna will also get possession of the ball as well after this shot. His second toss is perfectly through. And Chad Kratzer will head to the bench.
I would imagine that's probably it for his day, given that it's a 15-point lead with 3 minutes to go. It doesn't look like a possible comeback for Moravian, so taking your best player out of the game really to avoid injury, probably the smart idea.
Outside of Ratcliffe, Kratzer today, 30 points, 11 for 18 from the field, shot 5 for 7 from downtown. Productive day, but just wasn't enough offense for Moravian in this game. And with 3 minutes to go, Riverhawks are going to try to find a way to close this out. Perone nails another free throw. And pretty much across the board, Susquehanna has had guys step up at many certain points throughout the game. But now it's desperation time for Moravian. Free ball in the corner. That one rattles in and out. Rebounded by Brandon Lavitt. Lavitt's double. And timeout Susquehanna.
So again, it's just a matter of playing smart here over these next couple of minutes. The Riverhawks are up by 17. Looks like a pretty impossible comeback from Moravian. The goal for Susquehanna to keep it impossible. Keep your pedal on the metal these next 3 minutes and finish the game out strong.
This day of Landmark Conference basketball has once again, like I said before, it has built up to all the hype we've been waiting for this rematch between Susquehanna and Moravian. Of course, Susquehanna in the previous matchup lost at Moravian earlier in the season, and now they've gotten their revenge in this one so far. We'll be back after the timeout for the final 3 minutes. back out of here once again for the final 3 minutes here at OW House Gymnasium for what has been a spectacular Susquehanna Riverhawks basketball doubleheader today of Landmark Conference action between Susquehanna and Moravian. For once again here in the broadcast booth, I'm Adam Rothschild, and alongside me that is Alex Weldy. And so far today, Susquehanna has prevailed in their first game, which was the women earlier today, and now the Riverhawks of the men are in the second game here this afternoon as we get ready to close out the day as the Riverhawks look to closing out another win. Hayburn, three, got it! Cooper Hayburn has been lights out once again. One of the best shooters, as we've said so many times, in the Landmark. And the Greyhounds hoping for anything they can get here. Any three-pointer you got to get, and that one is no good as Lavitt corrals that one.
Yeah, I think that three from Hayburn probably is the dagger. It's a 20-point lead. Hayburn now 7 of 12 from the field. All of his shots have come from three, and understandably so, given how good he is as a perimeter player. Keep him beyond the three-point line. There's no reason to have him in. There's a reason why he's only shot 3 free throws the entire year.
And it's one thing we talk about, how he's able to shoot the ball lights out. That time was trying to get to the wing, and he slips. He's okay getting up. And a turnover, so Moravian will get it back here, down by 20.
Yeah, it has been an ultra-efficient game from Hayburn. Again, 7 of 12 from deep, an 87% true shooting mark. One of his most overall efficient games of the year. And when Cooper Hayburn is on like he is today, that can be a big boost for your offense.
There's no stopping him when he's lights out from downtown, in which he has been today, of course. 21 points on the day for Cooper Hayburn from three-point territory, 7 for 12. And he's looked spectacular in this performance today. And when I was talking to him about his shooting approach and how he needed to get into the certain spot, he got into all the right spots today. Despite missing some threes, he still knows how to shoot the ball lights out. They pass it around. There's the three-pointer on the right wing. No good. Tipped around, and the Greyhounds keep it. Pretty much the bottom of their bench in the lineup now, and they turn it over. A.J. Lomax heading over to the scores table. Seamus Rogers, Marcus Mitchell, Amizi Igano, and Luke Edwards as the starting five. Gets a spectacular standing ovation after an incredible performance against Moravian. Susquehanna did a spectacular job today. And what a performance it was by the Riverhawks.
And what a dominant second half. This game was neck and neck at halftime. The Riverhawks were up by 1 in the second half. Susquehanna has outscored Moravian 45-26. The three-point shooting, the offense has remained really good, but the defense really keyed in, and the Greyhounds could not shoot the three ball as well.
That's on the pass by Seamus Rogers, who was looking for Amizi Igano down low. So pretty much the bottom of the bench here in for Susquehanna now. Same thing with Moravian as with their perspective as well. Lomax looking to throw in, gets it into Rogers. Rogers will pull for the three. Got it! Seamus Rogers nails the three ball.
And for Rogers, that's his first made three of the year. How cool is that?
A nice way to finish the day. Seamus Rogers with a three. First three of the year for him, like you said, Alex. It's been an all-around spectacular day for Riverhawk basketball. And that basket will not count as before the shot, so a foul on the floor.
So regardless of what happens in the Wilkes and Lycoming game, obviously a Lycoming win would certainly help the Riverhawks, but regardless of what happens there, the Riverhawks will leave today as a top 4 seed in the conference, which would give them a home first-round tournament game. And obviously there's still plenty of landmark season to go, but that's where Susquehanna currently positions themselves with this win. And arguably more importantly, they now even the head-to-head matchup with Moravian, both teams splitting the season series, winning their respective home games. So now that they're tied in terms of the head-to-head, there would be no head-to-head tiebreaker, at least between these two, at the end of the year if needed.
So we'll get to that score for you in just a moment for what is happening with Wilkes. They are actually playing. They are currently playing at the moment, and they are at Catholic today. Actually, it was not wrong, as that one is good. There's the drive inside, and that one no good. Rebounded by Marcus Mitchell. 30 seconds left in the game. Susquehanna closing in on a victory. Mitchell drives in. Layup is no good. And the final seconds will tick off the clock. Shot clock now turned off for the Greyhounds. 3-ball top of the key. Iganu defends. That one is good. Edwards will inbound. 17 seconds left. And it goes to Rogers. Rogers looking to dribble out the clock. Over to Luke Edwards. They got to get it into the front court to finish it out. Still pressing. They get it to Marcus Mitchell. And that should do it. Iganu lays it in. And that is the dagger in the heart for Susquehanna, as they will knock off Moravian in a huge playoff deciding win. Your final score from OW House Gymnasium and a spectacular day of Landmark Conference basketball. Susquehanna 92, Moravian 69. Spectacular day all around for Susquehanna. This was the day that we expected. We got everything we asked for, Alex.
Absolutely. The Riverhawks complete the Susky sweep, and they do so in really impressive fashion. Much like the women's game, I don't think the score tells you the whole story. This game was really competitive up until the last 6 or 7 minutes where Susquehanna ran away with it. One of their biggest wins of the year. You've got to beat some really good teams in this conference to position yourselves with a high seed. This is a big win for Susquehanna, facing off against a team like this. They had a bunch of guys really show out. 20 points for Billy Anderson to go along with 11 rebounds. He had 16 in the first half, 14 for Lavett, 21 for Hayburn, 16 for Perrone. It was those 4 guys who really led the way. They did pretty much all of the scoring for Susquehanna, and all 4 of them played strong, efficient games, each shooting above 50% from the field, except for Perrone, who still shot 5 of 11.
Absolutely, and of course we have some news coming in from the other side of the Landmark Conference. Wilkes was playing down at Catholic, and Catholic prevailed 94-64. So now what this means with the Landmark Conference standings, with where all 3 of these teams stood. So Wilkes lost today, Moravian lost. That means Susquehanna moves all the way up.
The Riverhawks now find themselves in 3rd. They would play against the 6th seed in the first round if that were to happen, which looks like a 3-horse race with Scranton, Elizabethtown, and Goucher, who all currently sits at 3 and 6 within the conference. A top 2 seed in a first round bye does feel pretty unlikely for the Riverhawks, given that Catholic is now 9-1 in the conference after that win. Drew is 9-0. The Riverhawks still see those teams one more time, so if they were to win those games, then maybe they could jump up into the top 2. Of course, they see Catholic this Wednesday here at home, and then they'll have Drew at the end of the year at home for senior day and the final game of the regular season. It would be pretty cool if that game decides a first-round bye.
And there's a lot of potential for what could happen, of course, with the Landmark Conference playoffs a few weeks away, and a spectacular performance today by both the men's and women's teams of Susquehanna. The Susky sweep, they defeat Moravian in both of our games today. And once again, the final stats for Susquehanna: Michael Perrone with 16 points, Cooper Hayburn lights out from 3 with 14, Billy Anderson with 20, Logan Rhodes also contributed with 6 points as well, and of course Seamus Rogers in the end hit the 3 and that got the crowd on fire, which led to Susquehanna's 92-69 victory.
Yeah, got to give the student section a lot of credit. They were loud today. They really showed up. And you got to give Moravian some credit as well. They kept it a competitive game for a while. Chad Kratzer, he can flat out hoop. 30 points, 5 of 7 from deep. He did a lot of chirping, but for a guy who played as well as he did, his talk was backed up.
Absolutely, and of course, all of this success leads to 2 wins, and now for the upcoming parts of the schedule in the Landmark. So for the men's team, Susquehanna will continue on. They will have Catholic here at home on Wednesday night at 7 p.m., followed by on the road at E-Town and Goucher to start the month of February. So for the final time today, from here in the broadcast booth, I'm Adam Rothschild. That is Alex Weldy. We hope you have a great Western weekend. I hope you enjoyed some spectacular action of Landmark Conference basketball.